Hi everyone, and welcome to StudioJake. I, of course, am your host, Jacob Airy. Welcome to my vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture, from anime to television to novels and so much more. Be sure to like this video, leave me a comment, tell me what you think, share it out to all your friends, and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscriptions, so any and all presses or clicks or smashes or gentle touches to that subscribe button helps me out. Thank you so much. All right, I want to dive into it. Now, I am going to be talking about The Witcher. When it comes to The Witcher, I am a total normie. I've never read any of the books. I've never played any of the video games. I have not watched the show. I think it was called The Hexer. I have not watched the Netflix show, much less Netflix version, which is Blood Origin. But I wanted to talk about this because I feel a little bit of camaraderie with fans of The Witcher because of what is going down with the series. And this is from what I am reading online from fans of the show and whatnot. Now, I try not to take too much stock into what social media says. After all, social media is not real life. That being said, when a bunch of people are saying the same thing, it's time to listen. So I'm going to start with this Bounding Into Comics released an article. I'm not going to read the article. Head over to boundingintocomics.com. They're a fantastic news outlet, independent news outlet, who cover pop culture, but the headline kind of grabbed me. I did read the article, but I'm just saying for the purposes of this, the headline grabbed me. The Witcher executive producer Tomek Baginski, apologies if I mispronounced that, let me know below, confirms Ciri will take center stage in season 4. So I read the article, and it talks about this and what the executive producer said. I retweeted it and said, I'm a normie with this series, so could fans of The Witcher tell me if you like this movie or not? Now, I'm not going to read all my replies, but I'm going to read the first couple that I got. This is from Kriya TV. Definitely check out his live streams. He does art live streams, and he's a fantastic artist. Definitely check his stuff out. Witcher fans hate the TV series. I am a new fan of the Witcher books and games, not deeply connected. I think he meant connected to it. And even I have issues with the TV series, though the show is watchable, only the scenes that include Geralt, who is the main protagonist. Beyond that, I am hopeful it will end with season 3 as it was abysmal. Ouch. So then Lou Aguilar, who I have had him on StudioJake, he has written several novels. Go check out his books, watch my previous interviews with him, and read his articles at the American Spectator. I bailed after season 1 when they featured a warrior queen as a man thrashing, he uses a swear word, and Cavill kind of lost in the convulsion. That's something else I'm hearing, and I'll have talk more about that later. Misty Callahan, who is a good friend of mine, her and her husband, I've been on a podcast that I don't know if it's still active, but I went on their podcast when they were hosting it, and Misty was my very first ever guest on StudioJake. So definitely head over to Twitter and follow her, Misty A. Callahan. And she wrote, I'm done after Cavill is out. I liked the first 2 seasons, never read the books or played the games, so that she's coming at it from specifically a TV fan perspective. But it struck me as odd that they felt the series wasn't feminist enough when Ciri and Yennefer were 2 of the most powerful beings in that universe. And she puts a gif of Geralt kind of like acting, like, basically rolling his eyes. Then she adds, plus, if Blood Origins is a hint at what's to come, ... Yikes. Not even my girl Michelle Yeoh could save that mess. Dang. Misty. Trust me, if you know Misty, that's brutal. All right, so this is from AGP, Amazing Game Pro. He says, the games and the books revolve around Geralt, while the third game revolves around Geralt finding Ciri. She is a secondary character in the story. And he has a gif of Jim from The Office shaking his head in disagreement. Dil Nix, he says, and this is the last comment I'm going to read, like others said, The Witcher story so far focuses on Geralt. However, the games will no longer feature, I think he meant the show, Geralt as the main character. So maybe this is a setup for future games as series takes center stage, ? Just a thought. The show is tolerable with Cavill being a great Geralt. Okay, or Geralt. So for those of you who are kind of unfamiliar, um, The Witcher is based on a book series by Polish writer Andrzej Sapkowski. Again, I mean absolutely no disrespect. Please correct my pronunciation in the comments. I'm as a writer, I don't want people mispronouncing my name, so I don't want to do the same thing to the author of The Witcher. Um, so basically, Netflix got the rights to it as they're doing. They're eating up rights to book series, to anime, and all kinds of things. But basically, what I am gathering is that the show deviates from the books so much, and basically only uses the books when it's convenient, when they have to justify something. So people were doing that with Doctor Who. I guess in one of the very early episodes of Doctor Who, I can't remember if it's the first or second Doctor, but there's this scene where he's doing like a mind attack against an enemy, and it shows a whole bunch of just random faces, and so that they could justify Jodie Whittaker um, not being simply the 12th Doctor, that the Doctor is the immortal child who has had several I don't know what it's called in the Doctor Who or the Whoverse, but I know that every few years they change the Doctor. He's supposed to have different forms, and to justify the canon change, where they make it where she's not his next form, she's just one of thousands, perhaps millions of doctors. That they used that scene. So it's they've ignored canon. The new writers of Doctor Who ignored canon, but then go back to it when they need it to justify to the real fans, and that's what we're seeing with The Witcher. For me, one of the reasons that I haven't tried The Witcher, I actually thought about giving it a try because a few people were saying season one is really good, but it's just how they treated Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill wanted the role so bad, he actually cosplay as Geralt to get the role when he went to the audition. And here you have this Hollywood megastar. He's been in Mission Impossible. He's Superman at the time. He's been in the Count of Monte Cristo, all with Jim Caviezel. All of these fantastic movies, and um, but they made a mistake because Netflix doesn't care about lore. Like I said, only when it's convenient, when they have to justify something. So they brought him on board, and for 3 seasons he engaged in a battle with the writers, where he wanted more screen time because they started focusing on the female characters. Now, if you want to do a spin-off with the female characters, do that. But The Witcher is about the main character. And of course, the fans got frustrated because they saw, at least from my research, they saw how the series was changing directions. And, we're seeing this across the board, right? Warner Brothers was going to put aside Batman in favor of Batgirl, and we all know what a disaster that has already been with Batwoman, the TV show, and the Gotham Knights TV show. And even, I reviewed the video game Gotham Knights. I did enjoy it, but there's something missing when Batman isn't the main character of a property about Batman. And, it's the same with Pennyworth. It's a fine show, but I want Batman. Same with in the 2000s, right around the time Smallville came out. There was a show called Birds of Prey. It was supposed to tie to Smallville, but it was so terrible, and it's a shame because it actually had a decent cast, except for the actress who played Black Canary's daughter. Man, that actress, she was a bad actress. But again, the absence of Batman made that show not feel like a Batman show, and that's what people are feeling with The Witcher. So forget all the the politically correct nonsense of setting aside the straight white male character, from a Polish story set in the Middle Ages, or at least a fantasy based around early Europe, and it all boils down to these narcissists who work on these shows. So Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich. She is the creator of the Witcher TV show. Not the creator of The Witcher, but of the TV show. She's the showrunner. This woman, I've seen interviews with her. She is such a freaking narcissist. She thinks she knows better than the creator, the actual creator of The Witcher. And so she's going to edit, she's going to do self inserts with the female characters where they're strong and brave and true. And then they did Blood Origin, which is what they really wanted to do. I think Critical Drinker said this. They really wanted to make Blood Origin from the beginning, but they knew they couldn't. They had to lure the fans in with that Witcher branding, and then they made the movie they wanted to, and it was a total disaster. And these Hollywood production companies, they need to hire people who actually care and love the properties. They keep hiring these narcissists like James Gunn or Taika Waititi or Miss or Mrs. I don't know what her preferred title is, but or like Hissrich. She wants to make the show about her. You know, we see this with Star Wars and Indiana Jones, right? Kathleen Kennedy. She's this incredible egotistical narcissist, and what does she do? She puts herself in all the films. So Ray, the fabulous Wonder Ray, is actually Kathleen Kennedy, a younger, prettier Kathleen Kennedy, but it's supposed to be her. She's great at everything. Everyone tells her how awesome she is. Same with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. You're gonna put in Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who's not that good of an actress. I don't know who Hollywood who told Hollywood that she was good at anything. She's not. She was terrible in Solo as that robot. You know, it's all of this boring, dumb nonsense, and it's just going to keep going. But fortunately, the Witcher fans said no. And more fan bases are saying no. We're seeing this now with My Adventures with Superman, where they turn Lois into this toxic coworker who's mean and cruel, or Invincible, where they turned Amber into this really gaslighting narcissist. And then we're supposed to go Slay Queen, but we're not. And I think as a result of that, Hollywood is starting to shift. If one good thing comes from the strikes that are happening, the Hollywood strikes, it's that all of these idiots are fired. That will get people who actually care about the property, who want to put it to good use, and give fans the stories that they want to tell. That we can come together and enjoy something. You know, I've never read what the author of The Witcher, Sapkowski. Again, if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, please let me know. I've never read what he thought about, the Netflix adaptation of The Witcher. I will say, after George Lucas was betrayed by Kathleen Kennedy and by Disney, he said that he felt like he gave Star Wars to slavers, and I couldn't agree more with you, Mr. Lucas. But what do you think? Do you like The Witcher? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Whatever the case may be, I don't see a future where Netflix is going to win over any fans for the upcoming seasons without Henry Cavill, especially the way that they fired him and out the door when Hissrich and all of her minions tried to smear him. It's going to be a disaster. And I actually feel sad for Liam Hemsworth, who's taking over the role from Henry Cavill. I think he's walking into a bear trap, and he's not going to be able to get out of it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment and tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to StudioJake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's StudioJakeMedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time, right here on Studio Jake.